All right, Christopher MG, principal of the Success School, back at it for the 2021 STEM Fair. We have one of our sponsors here, Cook Medical. We have Wisk and Tyler going to show us a little bit of what you do here in the community.
Hi, everyone. My name is Wisk, Derifond. I'm an R&D engineer for Cook Medical. Cook Medical is a medical device company. They are best known for designing and manufacturing devices that are used for minimally invasive procedures to treat and diagnose medical disease. And also we are best known for, reducing, or we are responsible for reducing, the mass, procedures where people have open heart surgery, so they don't have to do that anymore. Our procedures are minimal invasive. Minimal invasive meaning that you don't have to cut the patient open. So you usually do incision to get into the patient. So we were founded in 1963. And we've been in Bloomington, Indiana. So I'll let Tyler continue with the conversation.
All right. Hi, I'm Tyler Villa. Just like Wisk, I am an R&D engineer, although he's in vascular and I'm in med surg, which are just distinctions that we put on which products we work on. And for example, one of the products that Cook Medical works on is this Zenith AAA graft. So AAA means abdominal aortic aneurysm. So it's basically when the aorta that's in your abdomen starts to bulge. So to prevent that aorta from bursting and leaking out, we put one of our devices known as a graft into the patient, and that basically keeps the blood flow going down where it's supposed to. And so like Wisk said, we make minimally invasive devices. So this device, even though it looks huge, can get inside of a patient just by 2 incisions in the legs. And so that really helps patients because they have way less recovery times. And yeah, so all of our devices are like this. We also do catheters, needles, wire guides, baskets for taking out stones or foreign objects. And yeah, so at Cook Medical, the different STEM careers that you could expect, engineering, of course, as both me and Wisk are. We do R&D engineering, but there's many other types of engineering that goes on at Cook. For example, we have production engineering, which basically tries to make the process of making our products as good as possible. But we also have quality engineering, corrective action and preventative action engineering, and many more. But also in terms of science, we of course have a lot of scientists, chemists, biologists that work on our technologies. And in terms of math, we also have statisticians that prove our devices are safe for patients. So if you're wanting to work at a company such as Cook Medical, if you want to do engineering, I would suggest chemical engineering, biomedical engineering, mechanical engineering, things like that. Or you could do statistics as well, or any of the life sciences.
Tyler Wisk, R&D, is that research and development? Give us a sense of your week. What is that? What projects? What does this include? Working on this level and as engineers.
Thank you for the question. That's a good question. I'm going to try to go as high level as possible. I work in a new project. So this is when the company is working on a product that they're going to launch in the future. So as you know, Cook is a big part of the catheter world, right? So for people with kidney stones, gallstones, and all those different diseases. My project, we focus on catheters. So we are working on the next generation catheter. So my day-to-day work is pretty large. That includes a lot of testing. That includes a lot of documents because as a R&D engineer, so you're more like, a scientist, I would say. We do a lot of research, a lot of report, a lot of paper. We do, part of, statistics as well. So that's pretty much, our day-to-day basis.
Now, Wisk, would you have models that you use for your testing, or how does that, what do you use as far as some of the apparatuses or anything that for the actual testing?
So we have a lot of suppliers, depends on what we're looking for. Most of our fixtures or apparatus, they're already in the lab, most of these tests. So if it happens that we want to run a test and we don't have those fixtures, so we have to build them ourselves. So it's either we could do it or we could hire a supplier to provide that to us. So usually that's how it is. Yeah. So you want to add anything?
Yeah, so just like Wisk, like I said, I'm in research and development as well, more on the process side. So the work that I do day to day is more working on how we actually make these devices. So for example, making fixtures that go out into production that our operators will use to make the device or package the device. And like Wisk said, we do have a lot of testing and the apparatuses involved could be a anatomical model like this. For example, I've used a model that we submerged in a water bath that basically was all of the arteries in a human body. And so we got to put our device into there and watch it deploy. But we also do other testing, such as just pulling apart different parts of the device to make sure that they're safe.
And so I have you right, Tyler. Give us what's your sort of education background, your interests, what led you here, and what kind of skills that you think are unique to you on why you're good at your job.
Awesome. So I'm actually an intern at Cook Medical right now. So I've been at Cook for about a year, doing a year-long internship. So my background was biomedical engineering at Purdue University. And right now I'm getting my master's of engineering management at Purdue University as well. So that background really helps because biomedical engineering gives you the mechanical skills, the electrical skills, and the biological skills to analyze any number of devices. And so those are the skills that you want to develop if you want to be an engineer. You want to develop all the sciences, all the math, the statistics, and the technologies.
And what do you love about this field the most? What the passion part of it?
What I love about this field the most is, and especially with Cook Medical, is that we put the patient first above everything. So every single decision that we make in designing a product goes into thinking about how this will affect the patient. So we want the safest product that is going to have the biggest impact on a patient's life. And of course, with minimally invasive surgery, that's one of my interests as well, because that means the patient is going to be better with even less risk.
Same questions, Wisk, for you. Just a little bit, your education background, interests, passions, how you end up here talking
sure,
to me.
Sure, thank you for the questions. I am also a semi-starter. I'm a biomedical engineer from Florida International University. I also have a master's in business. I have an MBA. I've been working for Cook for 3 years now in R&D. The next question is what brought
But
me
some of
to
the skills
engineering.
what are some skills that are unique to you that you sort of bring to the table that make you great at this job, and then the passion part of it.
Yes. So
what do you love about it?
I would say, one of the unique things about, biomedical engineer or R&D engineer is pretty much you have to have some analytical intelligence. So pretty much you are able to, understand, design. You are able to understand, numbers. You got to be able to understand, formulation. You have to be able to understand, for example, like when you do risk management, you have to be able to see ahead what risk may be posed to the patient, so that you can actually mitigate that risk. So you have to be able to think outside of the box, because when those devices come, there's no device that's gonna have zero risk. There's always a risk, but you try to mitigate them as much as possible. And to do that, you have to actually think to those type of things. So you have to brainstorm, sit down and understand, based on this design, this is what may happen. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And you have to actually implement, design control, to control those, design control measures. That's how we call it, to actually, mitigate those risks, to make sure that, these risks are not as big as possible, to the patient. And then the last question you asked, I think it's what, about the impact. Semi-starter is the fact that Cook focus really on quality. The one of the things I usually say, you never know who's going to be the next patient. It could be your friend, your family. The fact that you go every day, you do your best to make sure that those devices go out of the door safe, because our job is to save and improve lives of patients. So that actually make you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself. So that's pretty much, that's my that's my push every day to come and work for Cook Medical.
It's public service with a bigger paycheck, I'd like to say. Any final thoughts before we go? Cook Medical, Tyler, Wisk, anything?
Yeah, my last thought is I've had the opportunity to work, to make a difference. I think any one of you that would like to be, an engineer, there are a lot of opportunity out there. You just got to go and get it, and maybe one day you will be an engineer or even a scientist or whatever you want to be.
See a chance, take it.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to just echo what Wisk was saying and say that engineering, basically look out to colleges, see what they offer, go to specific programs, really decide for yourself what you want to do in this world, and then you can figure out how to achieve it.
Perfect, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. Cook Medical,
Thank
well
you.
represented.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The moment